All right.
Don't get me in trouble. I didn't get the shit out of my wife yet.
Oh, yeah.
I need to ask me like all the affection you had.
Welcome to the Anything for Sports podcast. My name is Drew Jackson. We have CJ Shaw and Coach Clark from Mojave High School on the podcast with us today. Welcome, guys.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
So before we get started, I want to give CJ a proper introduction and kind of go over some of his accolades and accomplishments. He is a back-to-back 4A state champion, a 2022-2023 Nevada Prep Hoops 4A Lake Player of the Year. He's a first-team All-American, Hangouts All-American, has career-high 42 points. I received Player of the Game 14 times in the 2021-2022 season. He scored 1,039 points in his first two seasons at Mojave as a freshman and sophomore. He averages 19.6 points in both of those seasons. He was a Gatorade Player of the Year nominee, a 4A Player of the Year, and currently ranked number 3 in Prep Hoops rank. It's quite the list.
I know. It's 2 now.
Leave anything out?
It's 2 now.
I still thought I started at 2, then 3.
No, you started at like 5, 4.
So we've moved up a little bit. So we'll edit that in post. We'll make
Not worried.
We want to make sure that we're reflecting these rankings correctly. How are you guys both doing today?
We're good. Good day, Evan.
Good to have you guys on, and thank you guys for joining us. So I want to jump right into it. We really want to cover you guys and help with not only exposure, but talking about the Mojave platform, talking about Coach Clark as an individual, the program that he's built in his years at Mojave, the back-to-back state championships, kind of the culture that surrounds that entire program in school, and then really focus on CJ and his growth. Going into your junior year now, I really want to highlight, the different points that brought you here and talk about some of those things and, what you see for yourself next. So before we get into any of that, I want to go all the way back, kind of start at the beginning. CJ, we'll start with you. Really looking to get a little bit of information about your background and how you got here, where things started, and kind of focusing on you as a Las Vegas native. Growing up here, I know that both of your parents played basketball. I heard your dad was pretty decent in high school.
Yeah, it was cool.
So tell me a little bit about growing up in a family, in a household of basketball players and what that meant to you.
It was nice, but that wasn't my first sport. It was like football, but then it got like way too hot to play football. So then the gym, and then I just loved getting it.
Okay. And so did your parents push you into basketball? Did they kind of help mold you along the way?
No, I just started on my own.
You started out of your own? Was there anything that really prompted that? Did you have aspirations? Did you have any influences or, different athletes that you watch that kind of gave you the idea?
Follow all their footsteps and just watching basketball on YouTube and all that stuff. Slam highlights and all that.
Okay, so I was excited. So you were like, hey, I need one of those mixtapes.
Yeah.
Okay. Coach Clark, for you, kind of looking at early in your career, take me through your journey. I mean, getting to back-to-back 4A state championships. I mean, it's a long road to get to that point.
Yeah, it's a very long road, very, very long road. I guess it's kind of full circle with being born in Las Vegas. Then had a death in the family, moved to Oklahoma, Tulsa, Oklahoma. With my grandfather, he was in the military. That's how he got there, but he's actually from Dayton, Ohio. So my first bitty ball was in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And then we ended up moving to Dayton, Ohio, where my mom's side of the family is from. And then we started playing for a team called Dayton Mohawks. So it was kind of iconic in Dayton, Ohio. All the good young athletes go there. I started playing in the YMCA league and kind of doing very well. And they came and got me and put me on the Dayton Mohawks team. It was kind of the first traveling team in Ohio. You go Kentucky, you kind of go to AU Nationals and stuff like that. And it's kind of a whole journey out there. Basketball, nothing to do in Ohio really, but play sports stuff. So of course I play other sports. I played baseball, football, a little bit of everything. But fell in love with basketball very.
Let's talk to me about your journey at Mojave. I'm sure you didn't jump in and just take the role of head coach right away.
No,
work your way up.
No, I mean, as far as in coaching, it just even getting to Mojave was a journey. I started out just coaching camp. My first camp coaching was Sequoia Holmes, who actually went to Mojave. Her jersey's retired at Mojave. she used to have camps at Mojave annually. So I started doing that, and then went into the Tark leagues and find my way and just making relationships. And a guy named Adam Shorts had got the job at Mojave, I would say like 2015 or 16, and needed a freshman coach. So I heard about it, and it all started from there. Coaching freshmen, coaching NBA draftee Maxwell Lewis was on my freshman team. So at Mojave High School.
You guys were pretty nice.
Yeah, I think we only lost like 2 or 3 games with Max. Very, very special player.
CJ, kind of proceeding on your journey, looking at where you're at now, I want to talk a little bit and speak to kind of a day in the life, what it takes to become an athlete like yourself. What does that day-to-day training regimen look like? What does your typical day look like in the season, off season? Take us through that a little bit.
The gym every day, stretch, water, weight room, and just working on your craft every day.
Are there special things that you focus on, special things you like to do? Are there certain things that kind of keep you motivated and going?
I can say, like, my family. I could say my teammates, they motivate me to keep going. Coaches.
Coach Clark, when I think of day-to-day training for you, I'm thinking of those Instagram stories of the boys outside and basically the crack of dawn running hills. And so talk to me about like what that preparation looks like for you guys going up to the season. How do you guys not only mentally but kind of physically prepare for that road?
I guess it all starts with like just connecting with my guys, connecting with the athletes, student athletes. It's kind of like I really focus on what they tell me. So it's like a thing that they have to do to be a part of the program. They fill out this list about what they want to do with basketball and stuff. What's their goals? What's their future? So it's kind of like, if that's what you want to do, in my experiences, this is what you need to gotta outwork everyone. So when you see that stuff on Instagram, it's kind of like I'm researching, I'm planning. I go to all of the trainers in the city from especially like Forge Performance. I talk to him a lot about how to get my guys ready. What's the tricks? What do we have some advantages? So like when you see that stuff, it's really been studied and researched on what you need to do. And some of it is just old school hard work. We have all the old like pig iron in our weight room. It's like real, like plates are real heavy. Like it's a different kind of 45-pound weight. It's not the plastic stuff. So we do a lot of work. So it's kind of like the process of just pushing them to passing them to doing, making them do things that they don't want to do, but they see the rewards for it. So that's kind of what it's about.
So CJ, talk to me about what that experience has been like, kind of joining Mojave. You got 2 state championships in your first 2 years. Obviously, that preparation has helped you kind of reach those heights. What is it like going through Coach Clark's training programs? How was that first coming, going from your 8th grade year, which is probably a little bit less intense, to year number 1, where he's just like, hey, we're here now?
Very hard. It was definitely hard. All the running, weight room, unnecessary place that he put on the team. But I see it works out. So keep doing it.
Like that. So Coach Clark, want to talk a little bit about the career and looking at kind of career highlights, 2 back-to-back state championships, coming into the next season, looking for number 3, going for a 3-peat. Talk to me about what it was like getting that first one, what it was like going back-to-back, and now what you're looking forward to in this upcoming year.
I guess like at the beginning, it was like, you'd have all the writers and, the talk and stuff. And it was our time to talk. It was just like, well, why not us, right? We're in the gym every day. We're putting the work in and we want it, So the first year was just kind of like, it was like, why not us, right? Like all the writers, no one really had us number 1, number 2. We had guys that were there were awarded number 1, number 2 definitely deserved it. But, we just figured, that first year, we had nothing to lose, but, we also felt like we had a very good team, very good chance. We were playing good. We were working hard every day, 2 practices a day sometimes, just to catch the curve. It was a very young team, very young. No varsity experience that year. Like no one had ever played varsity. They had came from cold bid and they were just all young. So it was just, that first year it meant a lot. It was the first one ever in Mojave High School. They had went to state one with Anthony Marshall was there and Dante Poole, that group. Darren Norris. They lost to Luke Babbitt in '07, but just to give those guys, like, we have a great alumni support. So just give those guys, the state championship as well was very important to us. And then the second year, it was again, like, we had the exact same team. So we returned everybody. So it's kind of like, it was ours. We felt like it was ours to lose. We claimed it from the beginning, and, it was planning to go back to back. So we just went and did it.
So I know, talking about career highlights today, it's easy to focus on the basketball side, the accomplishments that you guys have there. But, as a coach yourself, trying to build young men, I'm trying to get them ready for the next level. When you look at things from an academic perspective, I know this team for you is definitely stand out in that area as well. Tell me a little bit about prepping them for that and kind of where they are in that aspect.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's about, being a student first, right? Where this is a scholastic sport. So we pushed it this year where our GPA, we wanted to be on the team, you had to have a 3.0. If not, we were on probation. I could think the state level is 2.0. So last year we did 2.5, and nobody, like, from freshman all the way up to varsity, nobody struggled with getting the 2.5. So this year I was like, okay, well, whatever limits we give them is the limit they're going to take. So I put it to 3.0, and I want to say about 95% of them, mostly of them, had the 3.0. So we ended up having like a cum GPA of like 3.2 or something. Of course, I got like 2 or 3 kids on the team that are highest college, they had like a 4.9, 4.5, which helps our overall GPA. But, just as a Nevada student, if you can maintain a 3.0 or higher, you get a Millennium Scholarship. So you get the scholarship to go to, schools in the Nevada area. But it's just give them like an option to go to school for free or mostly paid for. If it's basketball or academics, you have that opportunity. So that's that was the point of that this year.
Talk to me a little bit about, raising that from that minimum level of 2.5 to 3.0, especially, with the recent article coming out of the Review Journal about graduation rates in Las Vegas. Why is that so important to you to like build that culture and start that, set that boundary high?
Yeah, we just, I mean, what you expect the kids to do is what they're going to give you, right? What we allow them to do, they're going to get away with it. So we just kind of just push them as far as they can possibly be pushed. Like, it's not saying it's easy or it's hard, but you'll never know if you don't push the kids to their limits, right? If we let them take the easy way out, most kids are going to take the easy way out, So we just got to push them. It's going to be applicable for both. It's definitely work for adults. We can't be lazy adults for the future of the world. Not just America, but the world is a global world now. So these guys are the future of the world. Basketball is such a short span of life. So by the time they're 30 or 40, they may understand what Coach Clark was doing and staff was doing, and why it was so important just to do. Like I say, honestly, I mean, 3.0 is kind of the minimum anyway, probably in my eyes, you know what I'm saying? So just making them raise their expectations. Like, some of them just really just are surprised they got 3.0. Like, you can do it. And, next year's 3.5. I don't know yet. So, it's there though.
So CJ, talk to me about that life of student athlete. What does it take to, you kind of talked about some of the trainings, keeping yourself ready in the basketball space. How do you kind of balance school and basketball life?
It is very challenging doing homework and having practice on the same day. But most of the time I just do it in the classroom. Teacher would stay after class. I have his class, so instead of going to his class, I go to that class. So it helps a lot.
So when you're kind of looking at your career, we kind of list out a number of your accomplishments at the beginning. When you kind of look at that big laundry list, is there anything that sticks out for you? Is there anything that's like, hey, that was the most important, or, something that feels really special?
I'd probably say the back-to-back state champ, because that's very special.
So I think that's a good segue and a good moment. Going freshman, sophomore year, back-to-back state championships. I'm going to look down at my stats really quickly. First year, we had 26 points, 4 rebounds, 3 steals. Again, that's as a freshman. Second year, 35 points, 8 rebounds, and 4 steals. So we took a jump, pretty big jump in each category. Talk to me about that growth that you felt, over that year.
Well, my dad always told me it's always have to increase. Like, I set a high standard for myself, so it's no reason to go back down. So I just have to keep getting better.
So Coach Clark, talk to me about freshman year, getting a player like CJ. What were your first thoughts for the team, for the program, And then how did you kind of attack that once you really started to see how special he was?
Well, I guess it's like when I seen him young because he played for the CN Bulls, which is a local area team. So I seen him growing up, and I seen him at Cram, just playing. I seen him developing very well. So I'm like, he's gonna be a piece. He's my style of player. Fast, good in transition. He plays defense. He just fit what we do. And then he had a little growth spurt. So I'm like, yeah, I gotta, see, I'm pretty sure he has a lot of choices. So it was just more of something. I think he was kind of like below the radar, but I seen it. Like, nah, he's the one. So it was kind of like, you're zoned for school, you're in the area, just give Mojave a look, and let's see what happens. So, we started the summer process. He played in some of our summer leagues and fall leagues, and it just was a good fit. So, I mean, you get a player like that, it's just tough. I guess what John Wooden says, you got to have a horse in the race, So he's definitely a key piece to what we do. He just finds a dream coach, a dream player for a coach. He's going to do everything right. He's going to be here every day. He's going to play as hard as he can, and he wants to win. Right? We want winners as coaches, so he's definitely a winner.
So when you're talking about career accomplishments, I think back-to-back state titles, pretty impressive. But I know you mentioned earlier, again, getting the boys to the next level, getting the full ride, getting the scholarship, how important is that to you on the journey? What does that mean when you do see kind of those fruits of your labor?
Yeah.
Kind of at that point.
I guess it's just understanding, being older and being a mentor to these kids, just getting them to understand how important a free education is, right? Starting out, going in the world debt free, and being able to have education to get, the job or career that you want. Even if it's our job, if it's, entrepreneurship, whatever it is you want, you can do it, and you starting out debt free is very important. You can use this basketball to go get that. So this is very important for that, and it's just it's going to benefit them in the long run in life. Like I say, basketball is such a short span, so it's just take advantage of the time while you have it.
So CJ, for you, 2 years in the high school career so far, short amount of time, but major accomplishments already that you have. And now kind of getting to that point where you're starting to see some of that success and kind of gathering some buzz, getting some interest from some colleges. How does that feel now, getting some of that attention and being able to see kind of that hard work pay off where you kind of have some eyes on you now?
I don't really put much attention to it. Just keep doing me, and I guess I'll keep going up.
So let's talk about that. What is up for CJ? Where do we go from here? What are we, when we look at, some people talk about a 5-year plan, and, when you're looking at those next accomplishments or you're setting that goal for that standard of okay, I had 25 points in the first state championship, I had 30 plus points in the second. Yeah, I'm looking to go for a 3P. Like, do you have kind of a list of goals where you're kind of looking to get to?
First, I say 3P. Then I need to get on ESPN rankings. And then I like to go to like all the camps, like McDonald's, all the American, Top 100, like those, to like see what it's about.
So just coming off of a pretty good performance at Section 7, wanted to talk about kind of what that looks like. Again, that experience of playing in front of all those coaches, especially after your second state championship title. We were there kind of capturing and covering the event and could really feel and hear the buzz around and from a lot of the coaches about you. Talk to me about that journey and, now starting to kind of receive some of those offers from some schools, what that's like and kind of what you're looking to do with that and where you're looking to take that. And again, knowing this is kind of just the beginning.
Yeah. During the Section 7 time, I knew we worked hard for everything we did. So like, I did good. All right. It's just, I hope more interest coming in. Yeah.
So Coach Clark, your thoughts? We got a dinner plate here. It's starting to fill up. So what are our goals for CJ? Where do we want to see him get to?
Well, and locally, just for the state, I mean, aside from him winning the state, of course, that's always the goal, winning. But individually for him, I want him to go for that Gatorade Player of the Year this year. I mean, especially with so much movement going around in the city, he's going to probably be the top kid this year, right? Just one of the top kids, and just I know winning will put a staple on that, and he just does what he does. Stay healthy, keep working, get stronger, get bigger, and just play his role on the team. That's the main goal for him, is just get it represented.
So CJ mentioned, or you mentioned at the beginning, you know, it was a good honor to be a nominee. What would it mean to you to actually win that award, get that Gatorade Player of the Year?
It would mean a lot. Nominee for it was like super close. So now I know like I'm getting closer to the step and getting it actually. I feel a lot better.
Kind of sticking on kind of goals and aspirations, again, moving a little way from basketball as a sport for Coach Clark, for you. You know, we kind of talked a little bit about the program, the culture you're building. Talk to me a little bit about that from a program and a school perspective, like what you're looking to build over there, kind of the legacy that you've put together already, and, you know, kind of leaving your mark in that environment.
Yeah, I mean, just being from the area, having Mojave as my zone school growing up, it's just important for me to leave that staple. Like for me, like before like Canyon and Legacy was even built, it was Cheyenne. Mojave was the battle, and you know where I was living at, I was zoned for Mojave, even though a lot of my friends were going to Cheyenne and stuff. It was just kind of like it just means something to me. Like me being a coach and never losing to Mojave never losing to Cheyenne at Mojave is important to me right now. So I don't want that to happen no time soon. But just having that rivalry, having those kind of things build up, being the best team in North Las Vegas, having the most state championships in North Las Vegas, like in our area, it's just keeping that competitive fire alive, building our area back up to back into its heyday. And it's just important, you know. Like I said, it's a part of our community. Build our community up. When the basketball is going good, when sports are going good, more kids want to be involved, want to stay positive. You know, and it's good for the community. More, the games are filling back up. Used to be walking, no standing room audience. Some of those games back in the day. So we're trying to build that back up. It's a little different with social media and times like that, but it's also better as well because it's a lot of people get to see it. So you know, just putting Mojave back on the map, making it important. Changing the narrative, you know, changing the culture, creating a great culture. It's a great place to be, obviously it's a great place to play. And we have fun and we you know, we motivate each other and we put each other up for greatness, right? If we look at our shorts on our uniform, it says be great on it, because that's, you know, that's what we, you know, teach people to do, is just to be great every day. So great people, great athletes.
So CJ, for you, Coach talked a little bit about building that external community, but let's talk about internal. So your family, you know, your support system, and what kind of brought you here. Talk to me a little bit about kind of the people that report to you, your mentors, and, you know, the people that helped CJ show into the young man he is today.
I say all the coaches, like Mojave coaches, Biggest League coaches, Seattle Bulls coaches. But most definitely my family members. They support, give me great advice.
Coach Clark, from a coaching perspective, is there anyone special that's kind of left an imprint on you that kind of helped build early Coach Clark into, you know, the man that he is today?
Yeah, I mean, really, a lot of coaches have. Like when I got the head job, or I just building my mental about coaching, was like Ennis Wesley. When I was at Tark, I used to coach at Tark. He helped me out. He taught me about like practice plans and things like that, because at first I was just doing what I did in, you know, a little bit of college and a little bit of high school. I was just putting it together and, you know, just winging it. You know what I mean? I just hooped. So it's kind of like I didn't worry about practice plans. So he taught me about more structure. Also, when I got the head job, I used to talk to Trevor Diggs, Coach Diggs. He was UNLV basketball player, and he was the coach at Agassiz when they came to Democracy Prep. He had at least 4 rings. So he was, you know, lower level team playing up, you know, underdog. So it's kind of like, you know, he gave a lot of advice. And just, you know, it was the B Lanes, the Coach Dalford, like this Jamar Clark, you know, with PFB, they gave me a lot of gems as well. And of course now, like, just growing and building new relationships with Coach Rice and Coach Kaufman, they give me a lot of stuff now too. And then going in the AAU world with Sitter, Coach Juju, where my friends moved from CM Bulls. I just use everybody that I possibly can. James from the Punishers, he helped me out a lot when I first get into the high school stuff, getting my kids out there, letting them play. So I try to use everybody. I try to just use the whole basketball community as much as possible, and learn from out and just learn. You see me out there on the circuit, just talking to everybody that I possibly can. So that's just what I do. So.
CJ, for you, with your background and kind of coming up in the space now, being a leader in the space, not only for your team, but for the younger community coming out that's looking at a CJ Shaw and saying, I want to win 2 state championships. I want to score 30 points a game. A lot of them don't get to see the hard work and the time that you put in. What would your message be to either a young CJ Shaw or kind of the kids that are looking to you for inspiration and how they can continue to grow and kind of get to the, reach some of the heights that you've gotten to?
I would say always being confident. If you're confident, you do whatever you want. You just stay focused in the game at school.
What helps CJ Shaw's confidence? What gives you that confidence?
I say like coaches and teammates believing in me and letting me just do what I do.
So coming off 2 back-to-back 4A state championships, there was a little movement in the city and realignment that happened, and you guys got bumped up to the 5A division. Talk to me a little bit about what it's going to take, Coach Clark, to win your 3rd championship in a row, but also your first 5A championship.
I don't know, right? I mean, we've had a 5A schedule anyway. I think one thing that we haven't played is Coronado and Liberty. We haven't played them yet, but outside of everybody else, we've played them, competed or beat. Close games with some. I think Gorin kind of pretty much gave us a lot to handle, but we got to feel it. We felt it. We seen where we are. Do I feel like we could have played? That we can play in it? Yeah, we could have played it in the last 2 years before the realignment. But will we have won the championship? Maybe not. But we gave ourselves a chance. I would say just give us a chance to give yourself a chance to win. So just get there and see what happens. You gotta play. You gotta play. So it's gonna be competitive. We want to be as competitive as possible. That's why I always reached out to schedule those games, even when we're not 5A. But we're going to be ready. We're definitely going to be ready.
CJ, you've been in the space with 5A players. You've played amongst all top players in the city. You've been playing and doing really well on the Nike UIBL circuit. You ready for the 5A division?
Yeah, I think I'm ready. Been playing the same players for a couple of years now. I think I'll be cool.
So CJ, now that you guys are kind of joining the 5A division, do you feel like you guys are a little bit of an underdog, possibly overlooked? How are you going to take the approach to really attack and to show people, hey, we didn't just win 2 4A championships, like we're playing at the same high level as 5A, and you guys are going to have to get this there?
I most definitely think we're overlooked because we don't have that big that everyone else has, but we always work harder than them. So I think that we'll have a great chance of winning.
Coach, any question for you? You hear the whispers, you hear the 4A, 5A talk. You guys are here now. What's it going to take to bring home a 5A championship, and are you ready?
Yeah, we're definitely ready. I mean, I've already been kind of prepared for it. Just playing chess, not checkers right now. I got a ringer with me. He's been helping me out, giving me a lot of ideas, a lot of adjustments, and just helping me out a lot, giving me a lot of information, a lot of new tools I can use at the next level when they're playing harder talent. Most times, because the difference is, you just can't have anybody on the floor that can't do everything at the next level. You can't have any weak spots. So everyone's going to attack your weak spots. It's like I said again, it's chess at the next level. So everybody wants to win. So, everybody thinks 5A is up in the air. But we wanted to favor in our way right now. So we're ready.
So CJ, from your perspective, what's the number one thing that you personally are going to have to or need to do this year to take it to that next level and capture that 5A championship?
I would definitely say defense. Defense is the main goal and knocking down shots.
Kind of looking at this 5A state championship, you had to kind of pinpoint one major area of focus, one thing that you're really going to hone in on, kind kind of a point of emphasis to take home championship.
Yeah, I mean, like CJ said, defense, but he knows that's like a non-negotiable for us. So it's going to be more so just the team win, just everybody on the same page, and understanding the game plans every day at practice, not taking no days off, and listening to the person that's mentoring me right now for the process and helping me out with the process, and building with that.
If you had a message out there for the rest of the 5A division, what would it be?
Just we here, bro. We here. That's the message. We here. Well, it gotta be something to be dealt with. We're definitely here now.
All right. You guys heard it from Coach Clark and CJ Shaw.
You agree?
I agree.
Well, we here.
So that's going to wrap up episode number 1 of the Anything for Sports podcast. I want to thank you guys both for being here. I think this was a great conversation. I think it's really going to help kind of give people some insights, information on CJU as a player, the Mojave program, for people that don't know, that should already know. And again, I want to thank you guys for being here, and I look forward to watching you guys this year. And hey, let's make some magic happen.